All right, how about printing documents out of Photoshop? Well, I've opened up yet another sample file here. This is called movieposter.jpg. He's inside your Chapter 12 folder, which is inside your project files folder. Go ahead and open him up. That's the same movie poster that we worked on way back in Chapter 5. And now that he's completed, let's try and print him out. What we'll do here is we'll actually print him to the PDF file format through Photoshop's print dialog box. Now, before we really get going, let me remind you of something here. Our movie poster is 11 inches by 17 inches. With that image window selected, my movie poster image window selected, I'm going to hit Command Option I here on my keyboard or Control Alt I on the Windows side. That brings up Photoshop's image size dialog box, and sure enough, 11 inches, 17 inches, and he's only 72 pixels per inch. That's okay. So I'm going to hit cancel here, and I'm going to go into Photoshop's print dialog box. So I'll head all the way up to the file menu and way down to print, down towards the bottom. Now, this is a dialog box that has radically changed here inside Photoshop CS4. It's a lot more streamlined. Now, the first thing that you want to make sure of is that your printer is set correctly up at the top here. So I don't want to use my Brother printer, and I don't want to use my HP printer. I want to make sure that I'm set to my Adobe PDF print driver, because what I want to do is convert this guy to the PDF file format. Okay, now this main window here over on the left-hand side, you can see that my preview of my movie poster here is not going to fit on my paper size. So I'm going to click on Page Setup here. That brings me into this dialog box here, and I'm going to switch my paper size. Rather than US letter, I'm going to go all the way down to tabloid, which is the same as 11 by 17. There's my orientation if I wish, and also my scaling. I'm going to leave the defaults for now. I'll click on OK. There, the left-hand side's looking a little bit better there. Now, what I could do is I could choose to center the image if I wanted to, or I could offset them using the top and left values here. I'll leave that at the default. The other thing that I could do is I could scale my image this way. I could grab this guy and drop him down maybe to 90% if I wanted to. That's scaling him inside my paper. Or I could choose Scale to Fit Media, something like this. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to set this to 85%. There we are, and I'm constraining my width and height proportions. I could also choose to include a bounding box. You can see there's a little frame that appears around my image there. There's my unit of measurement as well. If you want to use inches, that's perfectly fine. So there up at the top, I can see 11 by 17 inches. Now, the next thing that I want to do is over on the right-hand side, I want to make sure that I'm printing my document, that I'm not printing out a color proof. And I'm going to click on Color Management, and I'm going to switch this to Output. Now, for the output, I'm going to make sure that I have corner crop marks as well as center crop marks. And you can see these crop marks appearing inside my preview on the left-hand side. As a matter of fact, you can turn on as many of these printer marks as you wish. A description if you want, labels. You can even go negative if you want. And the other thing that I want to do is I want to make sure that I print this poster off with some bleed as well. So I'll click on the bleed button way down at the bottom. And I always set my bleed in inches. And I'm going to use 1/8 of an inch bleed here, 0.125 inches. I'll click on OK. We're looking good. I'm going to click Print down at the bottom. Now, this dialog box here is going to be a little bit different on the Windows side than it is on the Mac side. However, all of the settings should be in there. They just might be rearranged a little bit. I'm going to make sure, first of all, that my printer is still set to Adobe PDF. From this menu about halfway down, I'm going to pop this guy open, and I'll head down to PDF Options. And I want to make sure that the type of PDF that I create is a high-quality print. I don't know if you know this or not, but you can create PDFs of different qualities. So, for example, I could create a PDF where file size is the most important thing. Here, I want to make sure that quality is the most important thing, because I'm going to be printing this eventually. So I'll go High-Quality Print. And after my PDF gets created, I want to make sure that it opens up inside Acrobat. So make sure after PDF creation is set to Adobe Acrobat Pro, and then I'll click on Print. I'm met with a Save dialog box. I'm going to save my PDF inside my Chapter 12 folder. Just wait a moment here for the PDF to get created, and sure enough, Acrobat launches. It opens up my new PDF. I'll just zoom out a little bit here. What's great about the Adobe products is most of my keyboard shortcuts for navigating are the same. So Command minus or Control minus to zoom out here. There's my full poster. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. I want to show you something here. There's my crop marks, which Photoshop set for me, and also that 1/8 of an inch bleed there right up in the corner. So it actually cut in on my image 1/8 of an inch on all 4 sides. I'll zoom all the way out here, Command 0 on the Mac, Control 0 on the Windows side. So there you go. There's creating a PDF out of Photoshop using the print dialog box. I'll head all the way back to Photoshop there. And there's a look at outputting from Photoshop, whether you're outputting for the web or for print or, of course, saving out to different...